Hi there, welcome back to the channel and thanks for joining me once again. Well, today I thought I'd talk about a different manufacturer's kits and do a review on a kit from Boss, Chinese manufacturer. It's their Rafale B fighter, which is like the fourth generation, Eurofighter competitor, if you will. I always felt that while the Rafale might be sort of very Mirage based, but always aesthetically looks very beautiful as a plane and much nicer looking than the Typhoon Eurofighter. Whether it's as good a plane, I'm not too sure, but I've seen them flying at air shows and things, and I've always thought they look and sound just brilliant. And there's a real sort of a natural beauty to the design, and I thought we'd look at it and have a good look into what Boss are all about. Now, I've heard all sorts of stories about Boss, mostly positive, got to say. There has been one or two negative comments. Some people have complained about one or two of their kits having some accuracy issues. That said, I'm not the sort of rivet counter type, so I don't get too bogged down as long as it looks about right to me. But there's a feeling that many models seem to like their stuff, and they seem to have some interesting subjects, and they always seem to be good value for money, so I thought we'd take a close look. So, what have we got? Let's get you in a bit closer and we'll have a little bit of a nosy. So, this is their kit reference. Might struggle to find the reference actually because it's all in Chinese. Oh no, it's number 80317. And there we go. And it's quite nice artwork on the front, I've got to say. Side, we've got a little bit of a side profile view of the French Air Force, the Armée d'Air, and then a little bit of a spec about the actual aircraft, telling you about its introducer. It's made in flight in '86, so it's quite a modern, very recent plane. Obviously it's got this canard design, very similar to the Eurofighter. It's a bit like the Eurofighter without the ugly chin. I think that's one good way to describe the Rafale. So, I'm going to do a proper review on this. I'm going to cross the Rubicon, I'm going to open bags and everything else. So here we go. Sometimes I'm a bit tight, I might open the bags if I think it's valuable. Yeah? What have we got? Let's have a look. Loads of sprues. Loads. Right. Oops, I've just knocked the camera flying. Sorry about that. Right then, where to begin? Let's go first with colour call-out sheet, which looks quite nice. So, Boss logo, Rafale B fighter. Obviously the B being the two-seater version of the Rafale, I should explain that. So it's very popular with both the French Air Force as a trainer, and the Navy don't use it, I don't think. I think they use the single seat only. So this is definitely the Air Force version. So, see there we've got all the call-outs, shows all your stencils, gives you guide. I'm not quite sure who's... Oh, it's, yeah, Mr. Hobby is the actual paints that they're recommending here. Mr. Hobby, it's aqueous, Mr. Hobby acrylics. So we've got plain grey style and we've got camo style. Basically those are your two options there. Pop that in there and let's have a look at what we've got. So, instructions. It's got a sprue tree map. So it's a little bit like Revell, like the way they're sort of presenting this, if I'm honest. Which is not a bad thing because you can see exactly what parts you should have straight away by looking at the sprues. Starts off with creating your cockpit surround and tub, basically, which they seem to have built into two sections for some reason. Obviously there's a front and rear, but I'm not sure why they're in two pieces. However, so you build it up, put your instruments in, then you build up your ejection seats here. Ejector seats look quite good actually, if I'm honest, and then you basically pop them into the tub and then you put it into the upper fuselage. When you start working on the lower fuselage and you put in your what's going to be the wheel well bays, building up the front wheel well bay straight away. Now this is another, reminds me of the Italeri Tornado where they're telling you to stick a wheel in a wheel well bay right at the start of the build, which I'm not too sure about. I think judging by the way it's designed you can just build this up and then leave it off. You don't want to be putting that in on stage 4, step 4, because you're going to knock it off and damage it and all sorts. Same with these, I'd paint them up and prepare them and then just leave them to one side. Then you're building your big fin, and it has got a big fin on the Rafale, it's a bit like the Tornado in that respect, as indeed the Eurofighter has. And then you're building up your engines. There's tailpipes, and also you've got to put in your splitter at the back, I think it's a parachute ejector here, and then the canards, which is quite an important part of this aircraft's aerodynamics. They go in as well. Then you build up your canopy, and again I'd leave that till the end. I wouldn't be putting that in just yet. Then you've got your central combing behind the canopy that goes down the spine, and there's a couple of vents, the nose and the wheels. And again, I'd leave this whole wheel and undercarriage assembly to the last if I were you. Building up your wings, ailerons and flaps, which look nice. And then we've got all the parts underneath. So we've got the intakes, which are going to be fun. Now I have heard a rumour about this kit saying that it's not quite as good as the Rafale kit for construction around the intakes, but I don't have personal experience, so keep an open mind. Then we've got the various pods. We've got the what we call Sky Shadow and they call Apache. So it's basically the same, very similar to the RAF Sky Shadow pod, I think. And then we've got a couple of drop tanks and a Magic air-to-air missile, and then there's a centre line drop tank option as well, and then another couple of Mika, I think there's also air-to-air missiles, and then it shows you at the end how you can have your different loadout presented like that. So so far so good, it looks quite good. The instructions seem pretty clear, fairly straightforward in fairness. Now what have we got here? Let's have a look, a proper look. I'm going to cut open some bags for you. Get the knife out. Take it seriously today. Do be very, very serious. Right, so canopy. Do you know what? That looks absolutely stunning. Really nice. Let's just see. I've got this old problem with the old box, haven't I? Put the box over there like that. And let's get you in nice and close. That looks really nice. It looks very, very well moulded. There's no centre seam, which always really bugs me on these fighter jets. Even Tamiya, you know, bless them, they're so good at everything, but they have to put a centre seam up the middle, which I just don't understand. This proves that you don't have to have a central seam. It has a very clear front windscreen. It's not separate. It's like one massive piece of plexiglass, isn't it, on the actual aircraft? That's quite impressive. So that's, yeah, very impressed with that. It's better than I anticipated, actually. That's one of the nicest canopies I've seen for a while, in truth. Then we've got decals. What have we got here? A host of decals. Let's have a little go. Oops. Not sure if we've actually got that open properly. Let's have a look. Just bear with me 1 second. A little bit of a challenge to get into this. Right, I'll leave that there. So you've got something to look at while I try and fight with this decal bag because it doesn't want to let me in. Crazy. Come on. You know you want to. It just doesn't want to let go. It's a very tightly wrapped bag, it has to be said. Right, I think we got it. Yeah, we got it. Here we are. We're in. And they're actually taped as well, which isn't that nice? They've actually taped it like I do. Well, I normally open these and have to put tape on to stop it, the cover tissue from floating off, but they've actually done it for us, which is excellent. So let's get in nice and close and have a look at them. Yeah, they're really, they're quite smart. Strange texture to them though, slightly bubbly looking. Not sure if I like them after all, actually. I'm starting to have second thoughts here. But if you can see that, let me see if I can get the camera to really lock onto this. Can you see this rather odd texture they've got? Slightly bubbly looking, not the prettiest decals in terms of finish quality that I've ever seen. So might want to think about aftermarket there, if I'm being totally honest with you. Not at all sure, but they are good. Right. Yeah, again, might as well looking at that. Let's start with this one. I'm looking at it already. Yeah, I don't know why they were so unsensible with the bag for the decals, because it was so tight I couldn't even cut the bag without cutting the decals if I wasn't careful. What have we got? Well, do you know what? They're really nice. So here we've got the wheels, undercarriage parts, and it's part of the under bodywork under the fuselage here. I think that is rather nice. It's really nice moulding. There's no flash at all. Got the arrestor hook here, and the front wheel, nose wheel, which looks tiny, I've got to say, relatively to the others. Almost looks out of scale. It's yes, it's a tiny nose wheel. That would make me very nervous landing this jet, I think. Then we've got the parts of the tub of the cockpit, and we've got the coaming. Start with the coaming that goes over the top of the fuselage. And we've got the ejector seat, sides of the ejector seat here, and then we've got the coaming internal on top of the cockpit tub. So this bit goes behind this bit. It's a strange setup where it's in two sections. And then we've got some instrumentation here, and then the separator for the canopy there, front to rear. That's a really nice sprue. In fact, they both work, in fairness. So as I say, I'm completely new to Hobby Boss. I don't know anything about them. Haven't seen one of their kits before. So this is all a bit... It's a bit of a voyage of discovery, you might say. A complete new experience for me. Now then, let's try and get into this one. What have we got? So we've got this is basically drop tanks and pylons. So we've got a nice big sprue here. And it's all very nice. Can't see anything wrong with that at all. It's a tiny bit of flash, just one little piece just on the end of that, the back. But it's all very sensibly done. There's no ejector pins where they shouldn't be. Yeah, looks good. Move that aside, otherwise it affects our focus. Then we've got the tail pipes. Now these look rather nice. Look at that. Look at the figuring inside the pipes. That looks like resin. That's really good. Then we've got your actual jet pipe itself at the back of the engines. Then we've got some more instrumentation and the other ejector seat. Then we move on to the gear legs, both the rear main gear legs, and we've got a couple of air brakes here. There. This is the other part of the front part of the tub for the canopy, cockpit. Then we've got the main wheel wells. Where are we there? The wells. Those are nicely moulded as well. Very nice. The canards, which looks too big to get in, so I have to come back a bit. The canards here. And it's quite clever, they fixed it all as one piece to make that very simple. You've got to make sure you cut it cleanly and get it in place nicely, that'll be fine. And then we've got the other ejector seat and a little bit of panelling here for inside the cockpit side. But again, you know, there's no flash on any of the parts. Those tailpipes look stunning, I've got to say, they're really nice. So that is very impressive, actually. think this kit retailed at about £28, £29 or thereabouts, from memory. What have we got here? Fuselage. Go like that. Cut into this one. Oh, it's actually open. Oh, sort of open. Let's do it without the knife this time. Which is quite good because it gives us a bit more room afterwards. Right. Now then, the business end of the jet. This beautiful shape, it has this very big fuselage on the Rafale, very almost fish-like. And it's very chunky and but very graceful and lots of lovely curves on it. Especially underneath, you see it here where the intakes are. Very curvy looking plane, isn't it? Almost feminine. Beautiful plane. And panel line detail is good. You've got the sections at the rear where they remove the panels to remove the engines for maintenance. That's got these like fish plates on them. Very nicely replicated that. Very accurate. Very nice detail on the grills and the grates. You see that? Look at that. It's really nice. That is absolutely stunning. Intakes here. Not sure how easy they're going to be to. It's always a problem intakes on jets. I think. Always gives us problems. And then we've got at the very front we've got this lovely nose. So yeah, that's the real business end of the plane. Very nice, but beautifully moulded. You know, it's like reminds me a little bit of Great Wall Hobby. Okay, they're Chinese as well, aren't they? But it's very finely done. There's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? It's very slick and very good finesse. That's the word, finesse. Some real finesse in the moulding there. And then the last bag is this big one. It's got everything else in it. So let's get that out. Not the nicest bags I've ever seen, but hey, at least they use bags and not just one great big one like Rafale. Right, oh, something has just flown out. Where did it go? Oh, yes, something definitely flew out. I think it's the back of the sky, nose of the sky shadow pod, I think. Put that there. Yes, that's definitely part of company with the rest of it. From here. So, what have we got? Got these, what were they, Magic? Or, I think they're called Magic air-to-air missiles. We've got the tips here, they're quite a wicked looking thing. Lots of pylons. Again, lovely moulding, no flash and no flaws that I can really see. No short shots, nothing like that. And then we've got these cruise missiles here. Very similar to our Sky Shadow they are. Apache they call them, don't they? And then, what was it called? Inca, was it? The other, Mica, the other missiles. Haven't got that the right way around. Almost called Magic, almost called Mica. But yeah, it looks really nice, you know. Faultless, really. The plastic looks a bit, I don't know, a bit cheap somehow, but it seems quite nice and hard. I can't see anything actually wrong with it. So I don't think I should crib about that really. And then finally, we've got this wings and tails section. We've got these big wings, big delta wing, and then you've got these massive rails on the end that hold the weapons or tanks. Well, it's weapons and it can't hold anything heavy, but I think a tank could be a bit too much weight. And you've got your big fin here, and you've got your rudders. And again, it's got this finesse to it, some really nicely, finely moulded parts here. Lots and lots of detail. You see that? It's really nice. Yeah. I can't fault it really. Great. On the leading edge here you've got some really nice, again, fine details. Panel lines, lots and lots of hatches and service hatches, access hatches, etc. It looks gorgeous actually. Well, I'm slightly blown away by that. I don't know what it builds like, and I'll reserve judgment because I've got no experience of Hobby Boss at all. But based on what I can see, what you've seen, it looks really good. I've got to be honest. It's I think I took a bit of a gamble when I bought this because I was trying to get the Revell one. They were out of stock everywhere because Revell have dropped production on that. I think it may be coming back because they do this from time to time. So I went for this. Now I'm looking at it, I'm not sure that the artwork on the front does it justice. I think they could have come up with some better artwork than that because the actual kit looks stunning actually. The only thing that it doesn't seem to have was pilots. Did I miss them? Just double checking again. Were there any men in there? I don't think so. No. Okay, so there's no pilot figures, which some people won't be bothered by that, but others might. But there we go. So any of you not ever heard of Hobby Boss, or not seen Hobby Boss rather, based on this outing I'd say that it's pretty decent. I mean, that's a nice moulded kit. It's almost Edward standard, but I hope it goes together better than Edward because some of those are not great. I've had some bad experiences which I won't bore you with here. But it looks really nice. For the money, about 30 quid or less. Can't fault that, I've got to be honest, it looks really nice. So if you want a Rafale and you don't fancy the Revell, which will be very flashy, I warn you, there's no flash on this at all. It's really clean, the moulding. So I've got to say that really overall, based on what I've seen, I'd give that probably 8.5, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 really. Can't really find anything wrong with it apart from one or two bits that fell off the sprue, and it is just one or two. So there you have it. So that's the Hobby Boss Rafale B fighter, 48 scale, and I say, yep, thumbs up from me. Very nice kit. I kind of want to build that now. Quite excited about that. It's I've obviously seen it in the bags before, but I've never opened the bags, and actually now I've got it out of the bag, it looks better than I imagined. So all good. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for joining me. If you did like what you see, please like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. And there'll be hopefully some more vids very similar coming along in the not too distant future. In the meantime, thanks for joining me. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now. Cheers.